Please welcome Noah Wyle. Wow. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making the Pitt. It is, wow. I feel everything. I feel everything when I watch this show, and more than other shows. You know, there's a pit in my stomach, and I can't think that's why you named it this. But that was the intention, yeah?
It was intended to hit you specifically in your heart. That's true. And you, and hit everybody in their collective heart to show that we're not as different as we pretend to be sometimes, and that we all end up in certain arenas, like hospital emergency rooms, where it really doesn't matter those lines of division that we all play under outside that arena. Right then and there, you just want someone to take care of you.
And it is so true. When you're sick or injured or hurt, that's all you can think about. And that is very true. It's a great point. One of the things I've noticed, there's no music.
No, we early on wanted this to feel as immersive as possible.
Yeah.
So a couple things. Take the music out. Take all those cinematic, artificial sort of techniques out. You know, we tried to not do any trick photography. Everything is shot from almost a human eye level.
Yeah.
Really to make you feel like you're a participant, that you're at the same vantage point as the characters, and you don't have the objectivity of looking down on it from outside the pit. You're in it with us.
I mean, I'm sometimes watching TV, then I go to the kitchen, and then I hear strings or drums, and I go, oh, I better watch this scene. But when I watch the pit, don't go to the kitchen.
No.
Because you gotta watch, and even the phone, I'm like, this is pit time. Put the phone over there.
And so because it plays in real time over 15 hours, there's all sorts of little details embedded into the narrative to make it more rewarding viewing the more closely you pay attention. You can follow a whole storyline that's taking place just in the background of you.
I feel like so many shows are dumbing it down for us, and I feel one of the things I want to thank you and all the producers and writers for is you're actually honoring our viewers' intellectual capability.
I think something changed after COVID. People started watching content differently, more intensely, and it started to have more relevance and meaning in their lives. And so, you know, that old adage of dumb it down doesn't apply anymore. People are extremely sophisticated in their viewing habits and in their tastes, and they really are. And that water cooler conversation is back. People are banding storyline ideas and plot twists around. It's cool.
Anyone that watched my Act 1 knows that we don't dumb it down.
No. This is a particularly good episode, by the way.
This thought did cross my mind. Forgive me if this is insulting, but is the pit good, or is it just that I'm so happy to see people that are good at their jobs?
Yeah.
You realize all day... all day I'm watching clips of our FBI director pound beers. So it's just, there is a beauty in watching competent professionals.
I think that's true. I think it's both kind of a wish fulfillment, exposure therapy. If you get there, you want to make sure that those guys are going to be good. But I think there's also an aspect of watching people do work that has real meaning and makes a difference in the world. You know, I think that's something we all kind of want in our lives, is to know that the labor that we're doing is not replaceable, that it does have some meaning, and the pit sort of identifies that.
How do you balance the really awful, sad realities of what happens in an ER with the inspiring and hopeful things that all happen in ER but also happen on TV? I mean, I've seen some things in the pit that have had me take a second before clicking on the next episode. That's not good for TV business. But also in ER, sad and bad shit happens sometimes.
Yeah, as do really amazingly heroic and comical things, too. You find the whole human experience in there. And we try to take scenes positive, negative, so it's not just a drumbeat of misery. We try to show those quirkier aspects, and mostly those resilient aspects of the human character that refuse to take in and on everything they're seeing and choose to sort of retain a sense of humor and a sense of humanity in the face of it.
How did you approach playing Dr. Robbie this year? Because it's so clear that mental health was a major theme in this season. And really, who is helping the people who help people? Was there, and as it kind of went on, you you, Dr. Robbie, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Your character.
He's the guy with the beard.
He's the guy with the beard, yeah.
He's really good.
He's really good. But he was being shittier to people as time went on.
True story.
Yeah.
You know, we don't always act in our most graceful when we're at our most desperate.
Right.
And we wanted to show what it looks like to go through a mental health crisis honestly.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of telltale signs, and they're not all things that would immediately trigger your empathy. Right. Sometimes they may trigger your curiosity, and they may even trigger your distaste. But those are calls for help that just take a different form. And so, yeah, Robbie was going through a tough time even before we met him in season 1, and it's sort of been a revealing process to himself that he is in trouble and that he needs to find some help.
I also love the balance of the character Joy, who leaves the ER. And they say, well, what about your patients? And she goes, I'm gone. And in some ways, healthy people that don't just create but enforce boundaries.
That was a very small detail that was given to that character, and that little bit of self-care has resonated so loudly with people as they realize, no, it's okay to put a boundary up. It's okay to not have to give your all the time to everybody, but take a little back for yourself. I think that's healthy.
I love riding motorcycles. I own a Triumph Bonneville.
No, you don't.
Your character has a Bonneville.
Speed
and
bike.
So during this whole season, you keep saying, oh, I got to go on the motorcycle trip. I'm sitting there going, go on your trip, man. The bike is red. The bike wants you to ride it. Anyways,
Fun bike.
Fun bike. Do you ride motorcycles?
I had to learn for a TV show I did up in Canada called Falling Skies, where we were all riding dirt bikes around in the apocalypse.
Okay.
My mother was an orthopedic nurse, so she raised us calling them donor cycles and forbade all of us ever to get on one. So every time I ride, I hear my mother's voice in my head saying, you know, I'm going to do a total hip on you.
Were you riding the bike in that first show? That was you. Okay, that was.
I had to take an actual training course to do that.
Right.
That 4 seconds of film was 8 weeks of weekend courses in a parking lot with a lot of cones, but it was super fun to learn. And that bike is really fun.
It's a fun bike.
Wear a helmet, everybody.
Wear a helmet. I think one of the things that I'm responding to so much in the Pit also is just so refreshing to see a big TV production. 15 episodes?
15 episodes.
Elaborate cast, set. I mean, I'm just so thankful that it's being made.
And coming back on an annual, not having to wait 2 or 3 years between seasons.
You're working already on season 3.
We're back to work in the writing room on season 3. We start shooting it in June.
That's great. You've been on 2 huge medical dramas, ER, back in the 90s. The Pit now. How do you see audiences absorbing the shows differently, if you see them absorbing it differently or reacting to it differently all these years later?
More of a fractured, sort of a siloed audience as opposed to the old network days when everybody was watching the same 3 channels.
Yeah.
More people were watching those channels then, but people watch more intensely now. I think that the fan bases, the internet has tied what used to be a very small silo to the small silo in Italy and in Germany and the Philippines that also exist. So now you can scale your club globally, which is very exciting.
Right.
But I'm just amazed that the show can still break through and still command popular attention because there's so many choices, there's so many channels, that to be on something that really doesn't rely on a lot of special effects, it's a very human story, to have that connect right now feels extremely gratifying.
In ER, you play Dr. John Carter.
Yes, sir.
And here's a picture of Dr. John Carter.
Oh, no.
And,
Where is the little boy I knew?
What advice?
Couple Fiddler fans out there.
What would you say to that man now? What advice would you have?
Talk less, listen more, worry less, relax. It's going to be okay. Oh, so much wasted energy worrying and obsessing about things that don't really matter. I've had a really incredible year, but I had some less than incredible years to give me a really healthy perspective on this year. And so I'm just, I look back at versions of myself that I just want to go, it's okay. Like, where you are right now is good. You don't have to try so hard.
Were you were you trying to advance your career? You were younger then. Was that what you mean? Is like a kind of
Well, you just think you're always thinking in terms of trajectory, and sometimes you don't really realize where you are is as good as it gets, or is as good as it's going to be for the next 30 years of your life. You want to take time out and smell the roses. You also want to appreciate something that's working when it's working, and not necessarily want to use it as a stepping stone to get to someplace else.
Right.
You know, I used an analogy with this ensemble when we first started. I said, don't think of this as a springboard, think of this as a surfboard. And if we stay on the board, this wave's going to carry us as far as it possibly can. But if we jump off thinking that we could get higher or find better, we'll probably fall. And
you shared that with the cast on the Pit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
does anybody listen to you? Because I mean, that's always the problem is you get hit with great advice and you don't always listen to it.
How do you have perspective unless you have the life experience? So it's it's that old adage that youth is wasted on the young. You have to go through the road in order to appreciate the journey. And everybody's on this cast extremely emotionally mature for their age and experience, and they don't need a lot of advice from me. They're doing fine. But I
love that.
I hope that they realize how special it is. I think they do.
I think I'm gonna just think about that in my life as springboard versus surfboard. Let's go surf.
This is a pretty good gig you got in, man.
Hey. Let's go surfing. Let's go surfing. You guys, all episodes of The Pit, Season 2 are streaming now on HBO Max. Noah Wyle.